What's up, disc golf fans? This is Derek Scull with Gatekeeper Media. It has been a minute since I've been on the mic, but I'm very excited to be back in the booth. Today we are bringing you, in association with the Harford County Disc Golf Club, the finals for the Winter League held here at Millbrook. It's a new course here. The event, or series rather, is sponsored by Flip Disc Golf Apparel. And I would like to introduce our co-commentator of the day, Brandon Hauer. Why don't you introduce yourself and your fellow cardmates here?
Thank you for having me. I very enjoy this opportunity to showcase our local course and our local golfers. We have myself, Tom Atkinson, Brian Potts, Jason DuPont, and Rob Van Droof.
Now, Rob was the wild card who tied for the hot round on the first one. We had a four card coverage over at Scarborough Hills.
Yep.
And then now we are bringing it over to hole one at Millbrook.
Yeah, and this hole normally plays just as a par 3, about 450 feet, but we are playing from the top of this hill that we don't usually get to use because of archery, but today we get to use it, and it becomes a very fun par 4 for everyone to start off.
Now, archery, you mean that they practice in this area?
They shoot arrows into the hill and do target practice.
That's very cool.
And just starting off, I throw a nice strike up the middle and just let one out there. The goal of this hole is to just throw out into the field, and then it's all about your upshot.
Yeah, basically just air it out. Now, what's your typical play? It doesn't look like it's very windy in this moment, but let's say the gusts were howling. How are you going to attack it then?
It would be, in that case, it would just, you throw something stable and just get yourself out there, something consistent, and then really focus on putting it close to the basket after that.
Okay. And now we are playing all longs with the exception of one hole today. So we're going to be playing from 17 out of the 18 from the yellow basket.
Yeah, and the only reason we didn't play the one is because a tree fell in the basket right before the finals.
What luck, right?
We have Brian here just trying to throw one out there to start off. A lot of these guys aren't really used to being filmed, so it's a nice opportunity for them to get some experience and just learn to settle the nerves.
Yeah, in fact, Brian is a photographer himself, so I would say out of anybody, he may be the most comfortable in front of a camera, but again, maybe it's the adverse of that because, he's used to being behind it most of the time.
Yeah, and then we have Rob here, who's a very solid player, local player. Me and him actually tied in the first round, and he was able to come in off the wild card. We have a very fun format where you just have to win your card just in advance here, and all these guys have earned their spot. Tom line up beforehand. Absolutely pins it. It's a great way to start.
Yeah, nothing like a tap-in par, right?
Yep. Well, it'd be almost a birdie in this case. It'd be very tough to get to in this hole, so everyone's just trying to fight for their 3. Rob with a clean up shot.
Even closer.
Yeah, this is one of the few open holes that we'll see on this course. There's only 3 that aren't in the woods, and everything else is going to be very long and technical. It's a very good compliment to Scarborough Hills, which is short and technical and half open. Just trying to throw an anvil and get one close here. Just skip one right up to it.
Yeah, I think it's a smart play to play the ground here just because you're less likely to really air one out and have it carried too far for you. So playing short and letting it just ride itself up there is a good play.
Yep, just letting something stable out to the right break down and just slow down right near the basket. His first putts are really nervy. It's a lot more downhill than you can tell. It makes a very scary putt to start. You don't want to blow by it.
Or have a roll away.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's a good try.
A little more on the conservative end of things. I think that,
Yeah, it can be hard on those downhill ones to really get it above the basket. Just to that fear. Most of these guys tapping out with pars and just a couple bogeys, which can easily happen. All right, and hole 2, this is one of the more fun holes. This is the first dive into the woods. A lot of players are just trying to either throw a fairway driver and stay on this left side, or try to push it past these rocks and give yourself an easy putter up shot for the birdie. It's a very challenging hole because you can get into a lot of trouble early if you hit anything.
You don't have a lot of area for ground play either because of those rocks.
Yeah, kind of a lot of times you just hit and sit where you land. I'm just trying to throw a strike here and just try to push as far as I can. A little too much ante and puts me in a tough spot behind the short pin, but still an opportunity. Tom looks like he's using something similar. Looks like a big rim driver.
Yeah, he decides to throw it a little on the lower side of things, but I think that worked out for him. Kind of placed him pretty much at the landing spot.
Yeah, in the summer you really can't throw it very high here because there's a lot of overhanging limbs. But in the winter, it's a lot. Everything's a lot more dead, so a lot of lines open up.
Some still are a little bit more on the poke and hope side of things, though.
Yeah, it is a very new course. We still are trying to get everything figured out. Jason lands in the water there, but it is casual. We played water everywhere casual because we didn't know quite how high the creek water would get.
Well, and also with this course being in its first year, you said it was only open since the previous April?
No, actually just July. So it's only been open for
a couple months.
Yeah, a few months at this when we started the league. The idea with the league was to really get some foot traffic back here in the winter, so when the summer comes, we can get a lot of the underbrush away, which had ended up being very successful.
That's great, because that's a lot of the maintenance work that is on the tedious side of things for the course design.
Yeah, when they were designing the course, it was a lot of cutting through woods. It was very dense, and so it's really nice to start seeing the lines open up. Looks like everyone's getting a little caught up. That's the thing about this course. Once you get off the fairway, it becomes really tricky to get yourself back on. And yeah, there's a lot of trees.
And that's something right there that is punishing to your psyche. Really, it's keeping your head down, following up with something that's very consistent. Looks like he does get a little lucky with that forward movement of the reaction of that tree, but still a little work to do.
Yeah, a lot of times these courses you just want to lay yourself back to the fairway and try to scramble for your par, but when you hit early like that, it can definitely make you a little more aggressive after that. I was lucky to sneak something by the short pin and give myself an opportunity for a birdie, which is all you're really looking for here. This course really demands pars, and if you can get through the front nine at even par, which is the most demanding section, you have a chance to really score. Brian with a good shot there.
That'll play. Looks like Tom's got a putter he's going to be approaching with, maybe.
Looks like a zone. He just sawed it off a little bit right there. But he'll still have a putt. Now Jason's trying to get back on track here and get something close.
Didn't look like he had a lot of swing room in there either.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of lies where you're right against trees and you're just going to have to make do. Rob with a long bid. I'll have to probably settle for bogey.
This is a course that'll really test what your straddle game looks like too.
Yeah, you have all kinds of looks. Here I'm just trying to get something going for the card, looking to make a putt, get the energy up.
Well, I think that might have done it.
That's one way.
And I think, first one of this round deserves a rewind.
Yeah, it was really nice to get started early on and make a longer putt. It really helps you settle in and try to continue to make more.
Yeah, and it was a really good catch from those chains, too.
Yeah, and looked like the rest of the card was struggling, so I was really trying to make a statement and get a birdie and take a lead, which is important all the time when you start a round.
Oof.
Still trying to settle those nerves, but just got to get up a little more. Jason looking to clean up his 6, I believe. That's tough. Once you hit early, it's when you finally get to the basket, it can be really tough knowing that you're so far behind and needing to make something. That's another low putt from Brian.
A lot of heavy arms so far.
Yeah, like I said, these guys we're all looking for it's our first experience on the camera, so we're just trying to dial it in and just play our game. Rob able to clean up for his bogey, which is fine on this course when you get caught up early. Sometimes you just need to get out of there with the best score you can.
Oof. That one stings a little bit, but you got to just walk it off.
Yep. At this point, I mean, it's still early. You have a chance. I know there's a lot of tough holes coming up. You just got to keep your head down and keep playing your game.
One we just saw a 2-stroke swing between you and Rob.
Yeah, and Rob's a very solid player, so I know I have to get strokes on him early because he's just going to stay on the attack. He's a very consistent player, so I know he's going to be on my tail for most of this round.
What do you say? What do you have to say about hole 3 here, Raymond?
Hole 3, it's a fun hole. I think it almost reminds me of hole 10 at Iron Hill, where you just have to get something around the corner and just get to the basket after that. So we're all just trying to throw 250-foot shots, get ourselves in the middle, and take a mid-range approach to the basket.
Yeah, you just want to penetrate that bend right there, let it carry. It is a 402, so the chances of hitting the green from the tee are not super strong.
Now, even the most aggressive play with a forehand flex still wouldn't get you far enough to make it viable. So everyone's just looking to land something in the middle. Pretty much aim at that tree with the arrow sign on it, bend right before there, and should set you up for an opportunity.
Looks like Tom got swatted a little bit.
Yeah, he got that invisible tree that you can't really see from the pad. Looks like Rob's just throwing a Firebird around the corner, and that'll play perfect.
Yeah, it's stuck good.
Looks like you hit a root or something. There's a lot of those. You think you're going to get a skip, and it just stops you dead. It's a good shot from Jason.
Yeah, Jason may have even gotten a couple feet on Rob there.
It's like Tom's a little bit off to the side. He's got to throw some kind of overhand shot. Again, this course, once you get off of the design fairway, it's just you're going to have to make something.
Well, and now at this point, Tom is finding himself from woodline to woodline, one side of the fairway to the other.
Yeah, he's just going to need to get up there for his par. Rob just throwing a perfect shot right up to the basket, giving himself about 15 feet.
Slightly obstructed, but again, let's see what that straddle putt can work for him.
Yeah. Brian with a good line just hits the last tree he had to miss. That's the one you just want to miss left or even right, and you'll get right up to the basket. I'm just throwing a buzz here, hoping to get myself up there. Barely missed that tree.
Oh, yeah. That's close. But playing the skip, that puts you in a great position.
Yep. Just inside of Rob's disc there. Should be easy work. Jason looks like he's throwing a putter in a great spot. Just keeps it a little too straight.
Now, would you say that a majority of the players here are throwing mixed bag?
Yeah, a lot of people throw mixed bags. We have a couple players, Tom throws a lot of Discmania and MVP. Rob likes his Nova. I like to throw pretty much anything.
Yeah,
and Brian's the only one.
Out of a lot of the people that I've met from your area, I would say that you have quite the varying bag. I think you have representation in just about every company.
Yeah, I just throw whatever fits into those slots. I think Brian is the only one. He's for the Prodigy Street team, so he's exclusively Prodigy. Everyone else just throws whatever they like. Tom trying to get off this hole with a par. Gave it a good bid, but he'll have to settle for a bogey. Jason on the right side still has a long look for birdie. Putting with Magics.
Oh, he does donk off the top there.
Brian looking to clean up. That was a good putt. That's the pace he was looking for on the first two.
Yeah, no matter how many times I do commentary, I always feel like sometimes I have to be quiet when they're getting ready to putt. It's just you're just in the zone in the moment, and you're like, oh, I can't mess them up. But here we are.
Rob's stepping up pretty quick. Should make quick work of this. Yeah. Oh,
that was a close one though.
Yeah, still a little nervy early, but he gets it over the rim. Nice birdie for him. I should just be able to clean this up. Yeah, these holes are very important to get your threes on to start. The first 6 holes are really daunting, and you don't want to take high numbers. You just want to take your 3, move on. It's not often you start with 3 par 4s very quickly, so it's a very good opportunity to score.
Unlike what you were saying earlier, in the front 9, if you're really focused on shooting par across the board, you're going to lend yourself to having a pretty comfortable back 9, because at least you have some wiggle room then. You're not trying to fight back right from the get-go.
Yeah, and this is definitely a course where you don't want to be behind early, because the back 9 does get easier and gives you a really solid chance to put up a score.
But if somebody already has the lead, they could run away with it then.
Yep. but it still remains very long and wooded, so there's always chances for all kinds of stroke swings.
Now, fourth hole, 395. Tell us about the shape here.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it plays like a par 4, but really there's not a real opportunity to get to the green. A lot of people will be trying to bite off a lot and make their upshot at like as short as it can, but really you want to just throw about 300 feet, maybe even a little shorter, to the middle, and that opens up a pretty open lane to the green, but it's very easy to get in the woods and not have a look to access it.
So that blue arrow that we just saw in the previous shot, that's around where you want your landing zone to be. Is that correct?
Right, maybe like just
right
left of that, about where Rob lands.
Yeah.
At that point, then you should be able to get towards the green.
Because it's just a right bend from there, correct?
Right. Yeah, this is a really cool shaping hole. The tee-pad could be a little farther back to make it you want to just land in the landing zone, but here you still can have a chance of getting aggressive, so a lot of people will be trying to push as far as they can.
Yeah, and
possibly get a look.
Brian was trying to swing his out pretty far left to right, but he gets clipped up, and
he's going to be in trouble. It's one of those spots where you're really going to have to work when you get off this fairway. Tom a little bit too turned over, and that right side can be trouble. Yeah, Brian's caught up real early left, so he's going to just have to try to get himself back to the fairway.
Just getting creative, which
it didn't really quite work out for him. He's still going to be caught up left, so he's still got work to do. And that's really that. You can access the green from there, but you still have to. It's basically a small window you have to hit at that point. That's what really makes this hole. There's a lot of these holes that are shorter par 4s, but if you play the hole with 2 shots, there is landing zones, and then that'll open up the green for you. But if you try to get really far, it won't be as easy, and you'll probably have a lot of trees to deal with.
Yeah, I find that that's pretty consistent across the board. Where if you're really trying to overpower something, you're gonna find yourself in more sticky situations. The majority of the time.
Absolutely, and this right side has opened up a little bit in the winter, so I'm able to sneak something through here and get a little checkup from the tree.
Yeah, and that definitely helped a lot.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to throw it hard and hope you make it through the trees, so it's nice to have some to stop you. Brian just looking to get off this hole. He's able to do that nicely with a little forehand.
Yeah, that appears it's going to be an easy bogey save for him.
Jason giving it a little bid. Just a little long. Rob looking to score his 3, I believe.
All right. Well, it did hit the weak side, so to be expected.
A little long putt here from Tom. See if he can clean it up. Tom is known to be a very good putter in our area. He has a very strong putt. Not as strong there, but I'm sure he can. Once he gets that online, he'll be making a lot more. I'm just looking to make this one because I'm off to a good start, but that's why you can't take a putt for granted. Even the shorter ones, you have to stay focused.
You suffered from the weak side as well,
yeah.
But it did look like you had very limited arm mobility here because of that tree.
Yeah, I was actually touching the tree as I was putting. My back was against it, but still should be able to focus and make those. Luckily, I'm able to just take a par and stay steady. Little cleanups here.
Well, it looks like you have a relatively good command on the lead here.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to get off early over Rob because I know he's a very consistent player. So a 2-stroke lead, it's nothing I can this course is going to make it tough to hold on to that, but I'm just going to keep trucking along. Now this hole, it's 303 feet, but it definitely feels longer. A lot of people have to, I used to be able to throw a mid-range, but really I think it requires a fairway driver or a really good forehand to get up there. It's another very tight tee shot, which is going to be a theme on this course.
I would say that I'm very grateful for us having filmed this the time of year that we did. This is the first event that we technically filmed of 2019, and with all these trees missing, all these leaves missing, it did lend for a little easier disc tracking.
And Rob was able to throw the ideal shot, which is a little flex forehand, missed the trees in the middle, and he skipped up pretty close. Jason getting caught up a little early. He does tend to throw a lot of flippy plastic, so if it gets over on you, it's just not going to fly all the way where you need it to.
Where I would say that disc probably wanted to get a little more flippy for it to work out for him.
Yeah, if you want your disc to get flippy, this is the course to go to. A lot of rocks and trees the entire time.
You'll break in your plastic quickly here.
Yep.
Oh.
Brian had the right idea to try to just ante something towards the green, but caught those left side trees. Yeah, once you get past those trees in the middle, you got a good chance to get up to the green, but if you hit those, you're going to be in some serious trouble. Looks like he tried to find a line and still ended up a little short, right?
Yeah, a little too high, so it just gave it more room to hyzer out.
Jason getting caught up again. Like I said, once you hit a tree on this, you really got to work for your pars. Nothing comes easy if you miss the fairway. Looks like he should have an opportunity for par, though a little bit on the longer side than you're looking for.
Oh, go in. Oh. From that angle, it looked pretty close.
Yeah, that was a good bid. Now I got another long putt, knowing Rob's pretty close. I don't want to give up a stroke to him already.
There it is. Another clean hit.
I was really happy to get that one in, not lose a stroke to Rob, and just keep my momentum.
Well, we're gonna give you this one too.
Yeah, this is one of the best putts I could have hit at the time. I know how important every stroke is. And
yeah, we're looking at about a 45 to 50 foot, about a 5 foot putt here.
Yeah, I was just letting it. I had to go around some trees, so just put it out to the right and let it dive right in. Oh, Rob still had a little more room than a little distance than I thought.
And he puts up a solid connection with those chains as well.
Yeah, once Rob gets on, he has a beeline to the basket. His putts just come out nice and firm into the center.
They're like a hip shot putt.
Brian, there he goes. Keeping that putting streak alive now. Really starting to get the pace of it. Yeah, especially coming up to the next hole, they know it's a very daunting tee shot, so they don't want to give up strokes that early. So everyone is playing from behind at this point. There we go.
All right.
That's a good scramble for par. Saving par on any of these holes feels really good.
Yeah, especially if you're needing to have it 25 feet plus. You know?
Yeah, that's not a comfortable place to be putting from at any time.
Well, the greens here seem to be on the tad smaller side. So if you're within the circle, you still may have some trees between you and the basket.
Absolutely. Now this is a really cool hole. It's actually divided into two fairways, which the short pad does utilize the other one. But really, everyone is trying to just push straight and get to the other side of the creek. This is the other fairway, but really you're just looking. You can land over here and still have an upshot, but if you stay on that right side, it'll make it a lot easier to get to the basket.
So the path the drone went is not a typical path for this hole?
No, you could play over there, but everyone's trying to really go that straight route.
Okay. And then just have it finish left.
Yeah. And this green is reachable, but it's very tough to hit the perfect line. You have to throw
Just a corridor shot.
Yeah, you have to throw something that's going at least 350 feet before it starts breaking down left.
Yeah, where that one just lost the juice, but the reaction from the tree did push it forward there.
Yeah, it was the right line. He just had to stay a little straighter with a little more power.
And sometimes, like we were mentioning earlier, if you overpower it, like you're afraid to put too much power on it for sake of turning it over or early releasing it and pushing yourself too far left.
Yeah, you don't want to get off the fairway. Like we said, you don't want to get off the fairway here.
Tom finds himself a little left.
Yeah, he's on that left side, so he might be able to work with something, but it can be really tricky over there. Brian looking to get something. Oh, it just comes out early on him. And now he's in a lot of trouble because he didn't even make it to that first fairway. So he's going to have a lot of work to do.
Wow. Oh, I spoke a little too soon.
Yeah, look, it was a very good line, but it's very dense on off the fairways, even in the fairways, but off is it can be really brutal. So he's still got work to do just to get up and down for his bogey. Jason was able to get up there for a par look.
That looked like it was going to carry a little further from the first angle, but yeah, he's still got about 40 feet or so to bite.
That's a good shot. That's what you want to do in that. Once you're in that position, just get yourself as close as you can to the basket and get out of there. Now, Tom, he looks like he found himself far enough right where he can access the green still. Oh,
That one got pretty lucky.
yeah. I mean, it looked like he saw it off a bit and got a pretty nice kick to give him a look. Rob just looking to lay up for his easy, I guess that's a birdie at this point.
Yeah, it's a smart play.
I'm looking to do the same. Not really trying to do too much. Just get it close and walk away. Jason a little outside where he was looking for. Oh, gets a little metal there.
Yeah, I was going to say he did touch metal.
Oh, Tom with another good putt. That's the way to secure your 3.
All right, so taking one of those strokes back.
Yep.
Still not quite happy with his performance. You could tell it from his body language there.
Yeah, and this has been a long day for these players, even at this point. They played around in the morning, traveled across town a little bit, about 15 minutes away, and they had to prepare for another round.
Not to mention, playing in... I mean, it doesn't look like it's that cold, but it was pretty chilly.
Yeah, this was in March, so in Maryland weather, you can get some decent weather, but yeah, it's still on the chilly side. It's probably high 40s at best, maybe low 50s, but. All right, hole 7. This is a really tight hole. If you have a forehand and you can just squeeze by this tree on the left, you can get to the green, but it requires a lot of power. A lot of people are trying to throw something flippy and have it start turning around 250 feet and then land about 2 o'clock.
Yeah, and
around
again,
the green.
Pretty tight green there too.
Yeah. See, it looks like I got through. I'm still well short of the basket.
Touch lower or touch higher and...
Yeah, a little bit to the left. It's actually not too bad to push straight because then you can still have an open look down to the green. Rob with the right idea. You want to keep it wide, but he catches those same trees.
He's right about where you are.
Yep. Tom going with the forehand, which I think is the right play, but it just comes out early on him, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Shake it off, bud.
Yep. Like I said before, you just gotta when you do that, you gotta keep your head down and just keep moving. Jason, this should set up good for him. He likes to throw those flippy discs, so if he can just get this out there, it can start bending towards the basket.
Little hyzer flip there.
Yeah, a little early on him, but he should have a pretty open up shot just to secure his 3. Yeah, if you keep it straight here, it will definitely make it easy to get your par, but you really have to work it to the right if you want a chance at birdie.
Ooh.
Brian was heading right towards the basket and caught a late tree.
Yeah, but you know what? He left himself a pretty good lane there.
Yeah, a lot of these holes, a putt is crucial. If you can get a putt for birdie, then you're doing something good.
Oh man,
again,
Tom is starting to really struggle here on 7.
Yeah, it's a tough place to be because then you want to get more aggressive and you feel like you need to get up to the basket. Yeah, this is a good shot to get him a chance to save his bogey. I know he wanted to get a little more left, but I think he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, let's see what his footing is like over there. It looks a little muddy.
Yeah, we did have a pretty difficult... A lot of the walking trails were really muddy, and some of the holes have some muddy spots, but it's all stuff we're figuring out in the first year of the course. Yeah, I'm not looking to do anything too crazy here. Just try to get up there, take a 3, which is going to be a theme.
Well, if you're no stranger to Gatekeeper coverage and us doing the commentary, our motto here is play for par.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with playing for par.
Yeah. Do the work off the tee shot. If you don't have a look at birdie, then don't try to do too much. That's going to be tough for Tom. Looks like he's going to have to take a 5. He was already a little behind, so I know he wants to get back on track.
The course giveth and the course taketh away. The smallest of gaps there to punch through.
Yeah, even some of these greens have trees to make your putt a little tricky.
Yeah, in my opinion, a couple of them might be able to go. Maybe they have since playing here already.
Yeah, we've definitely lost some trees due to some wind and other variables. But this is the test year, so we're really trying to see how these holes play, what they score like, and what we can do to make them better.
Now, was this the inaugural year for this winter league?
Yeah, this is the first. I decided that I wanted to bring some more events to the local area and really showcase this new course. So I devised the plan to make a winter league, and I've got
what else is going on?
Yeah,
right?
there's not really anything
really
going on.
Capitalize on the market there.
Yeah, we usually have tags throughout the year, and then with the winter league, it was just nice to get people out and having a reason to go out on Sundays and play some disc golf.
Yeah, and typically winter leagues consist primarily of putting leagues for indoor play. So I don't really see very many winter leagues traditionally, so it was really nice to be a part of this one here.
Yeah, and we actually got a very good turnout. I think we had close to 40 people join the league.
And how many weeks is it?
It's a 14-week league, and you earn points every week, and the top 16 were able to qualify for the finals. So people towards the end were really coming out because they know the points were very important.
Well, that shot at Gatekeeper coverage.
Yeah, and that got people a little excited too. Now this hole, it's a very tricky one because you feel like with 368 feet that it would play like a par 3, but it's one of those, if you throw 200 feet, put yourself in position, it actually makes a really fun upshot to get to the green. But other than that, there's not a real chance to get to the basket.
I feel like, even though this course is pretty lengthy in some spots, you could probably attack most of it with the mid-range just so that you have the shapeability.
Right. It definitely wants you to throw specific shots.
Yeah.
There is a chance here to throw a big forehand and try to push through woods, but you're still going to have to get lucky just to get a chance. So, and even these guys trying to play just a fairway driver off the right side, getting caught up, and now they're really scrambling for a 3, which is pretty crazy on a 368-foot hole.
And again, folks, we are going to bring attention to the fact that all water is casual for this. It is the first year, so, like Brandon was saying earlier, they needed to test out and see what plays, what water levels, change. And I think having the casual rule was fair, very fair.
Yeah, and it just added for no discrepancies. There wasn't a lot of people questioning if they were in or out. We do feel like we're going to rope off some of these and make them out of bounds with defined lines, but right now it's just a little too...
I'm a fan of natural OB.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and so, we have found, if you can see there, the water is flowing. We had one instance where a big rainstorm washed away the bridges we had put in.
Wow.
Yeah, it took about 12 of us to carry them back. But
it really carried them that far, huh?
Oh, yeah. And we got those bridges secured now, and we know a lot of the spots where the water is. Brian.
Solid putt.
Yeah, that's a great putt. Those always feel good.
Weak side catch, but it's still an in.
Yeah, it's in the basket. Looks like everyone else is pretty close to just clean up.
I think Tom is up next here. Yep.
Yeah, a little bit more distance on this putt, but I think
his footing is a little wonky here. That fallen tree.
Just a little jabby. Sometimes you just want to make the putt and you just kind of force it instead of just letting it flow out naturally. Rob with just a nice easy tap in. I should be able to do the same. Just take a nice 3. Jason should do the same as well. So it looks like I have a 3-stroke lead over Rob at this point, and he has a 4-stroke lead over the rest of the card. So it looks like it's going to be an interesting battle down the stretch.
And I will say, having that type of score separation, it's just really Tui is at the top there, but it really could be anybody's game for those other positions.
Yeah, and everyone is getting a payout, so they are playing for money. So everyone does want to do the best they can. So they're going to be looking to secure 3rd or 4th.
I would like to say that out of everything that I remember about this course, this is probably my favorite hole here, just by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's a very unique hole. The elevation changes. It goes kind of down and up, and it has this very cool rock wall. I don't know where it really came from. It was here when we started designing the course, and it just adds a really cool feature. So everyone's looking to just flex something over and get just over that wall and give themselves a chance on the green. Well, it looks like that came out late on Rob, but wow, he is sneaking through. Sometimes you gotta ask for a little luck on a course like this.
Yeah. Now, would you say that the percentages, like for this hole, is this a pretty birdieable hole?
Not really, because it takes a good bit of power to get up that hill. So you're gonna have to at least throw 350 feet and hit a very demanding line. So it is a scoreable hole. There is birdies that are had, but not as many as you'd think.
So really, it's you playing consistent enough and hoping that other people have their blow up here.
Yeah. Which, if you hit any of these middle trees, it'll put you into a really tricky spot.
Oh,
luckily,
narrowly misses that one right there in the middle.
Yeah, luckily he got far enough where he should be able to get up and down.
Yeah, like not the worst footing there.
It's going back to that zone.
Sneaky.
Chipping it right up there. It's like a little putter tomahawk from Jason.
Yeah, nice and easy. Still leaves him at circle's edge, though.
Yeah. So even when you're this close, you still have a lot of things to deal with. And in the summer, it's a lot thicker. So a lot of those branches you see are pretty full leaves, and close off a lot of these lanes.
Just shy.
And that's a range he likes to hit from too. So I was surprised he didn't give that a little better of an effort.
Especially because he's got some catching up to do.
Yeah. I wanted to give that a better bid, but I was on a knee and just didn't quite elevate it enough. It can be tough trying to generate power from a knee and going uphill.
Well, and again, you're rounding out your front nine here, so you still got plenty of golf to play. It's more about, like you said, the consistency is key here, folks.
Yeah, I'm already way ahead of the pace that I was setting for myself before I started the round. So I'm just looking to stay consistent and retain my lead as long as I can.
So, overall, a +3 through 9, not the end of the world. He's got time to bring himself back down to even.
Right.
But a 5 down, that's where you want to start.
Yeah, that feels pretty good. I had to hit a lot of putts to get there, but it definitely feels good. And Rob, nothing to scoff at. A nice 2-under performance on the front 9, staying pretty close to the lead. And then Brian at 2 up, which is him and Tom are very close. And Jason right around the same.
Awesome. Well, there we have it here. If you want to kind of give us a breakdown of where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, it looks like I have a 3-stroke lead over Rob, and he has a 4-stroke lead over Brian, and him and Tom have a little battle going for third, but Jason's not too far back, and he still has a chance to catch these guys.
Awesome. Well, here we are concluding our front 9 coverage of the Harford County Disc Golf Winter Series, their inaugural event.